We are pleased you are visiting us through this short video clip. You will see average, everyday people involved in their church service. Those people you will see are not actual or professional actors and actresses, but they are the people of the church. The video clip gives you a sample of the church service, almost as if you were there at the time of the filming. So sit back and enjoy this short video clip.
In Acts chapter 17, verses 22 through 23, it states here, "Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, 'You men of Athens, I perceive that in all things you are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with the inscription, To the unknown God, whom therefore you ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you.'" Now, how does this fit in with our introduction? Well, it fits in this fashion. When Paul was coming to God, when God was coming for him, Paul was on his way to Damascus. And he was on his way there to destroy the Christians. He was on there to put them in prison. He was on the way to Damascus to see how many he may slay, because he had already slain Stephen and others. And so he was on his way there, but God came to him and threw him down off of his horse and spoke to him, gave him revelation, gave him instructions as to what he should do. Told him, "I want you to go on into Damascus. I want you to go into a street called Straight, so that's exactly what Paul did. And Paul says, "Who art thou?" And he said, "I am Jesus whom thou hast persecuted." In other words, Jesus was identifying with the saints and those that believed in God that Paul was persecuting. He says, "You're persecuting me. When you persecute them, you're persecuting me." You see. And so Paul went off to do what God told him to do. He got a revelation. His eyes were open. He saw something he had not seen before. How many of you believe that God can give you something that you've never seen before?
Amen. Amen.
You ought to expect that God can give you something you've never seen before. You ought to expect that what would be wrong? Tell me now. What would be wrong if you lay your head down on the pillow tonight and you prayed, "Lord, if you want to give me a dream, give me one." You know. Or if you want to give me some revelation, give it to me, Lord. Some people might be fearful of that. "Oh, Lord, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have a dream. Maybe I shouldn't have a revelation." Because once you get a revelation, once you get a dream that God gives you, then guess what? You're responsible then. God is going to hold you responsible for what he has revealed to you. And you're going to have to do something with that. And that's a little clue to you that when God has given you a revelation, when God has talked to you in times past, he has given you a revelation, you're responsible for that revelation that God has given you. And he expects you to do something with it. And you have to be sensitive to the moving of the Holy Spirit to know how and what God wants you to do with whatever revelation he may give you. Hallelujah. And so Paul had been given a revelation when he got to the street there in Straight. God spoke to a little pastor that was in the town there by the name of Ananias, and he said unto Ananias, "I want you to go to this particular place. I want you to go into this house, and you're going to find a man in there, and that man I want you to pray for. And that man's name is Saul." And Ananias spoke to God, and he said, "Lord, best that we not go pray for him. For I have heard tell of him." And God said, "He is my chosen vessel. You go, Ananias." Of course, he was a good little obedient pastor, so he went ahead and did exactly what God told him to do. So he goes in and he says, "Brother Saul." He laid hands on him and prayed for him, and the scales fell off of his eyes. And the first person he saw after he saw Jesus the first person he saw was this little pastor named Ananias. And God spoke to him and said, "Tell him all the things of which he is going to have to suffer for my name's sake. Also tell him that he is going to testify before kings, before governors, before people of great authority and influence in the world. Go and tell Paul that I'm going to raise him up and he's going to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ before all of these people."
Amen.
And if you read the book of Acts and you read other places in the epistles, you will know that Paul did exactly as God told him. He went up to the very tip top of all things in the world that day, in that particular time, in his time. He even testified unto the Caesar, the one who ruled the world, as the civilized world at that time. He even testified to him. So, you see, God is speaking to you that you are going to do the very things that he has told you you're going to do.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. That should be a great encouragement to you, that God is going to carry it out. And it's not going to be you that does it. How in the world could Paul have done all the things that he did, as you read in the book of Acts? How could he have done all those things? He had to have God to do it.
This video you have watched is sent to you in the love of Jesus Christ. It is our prayer that you will pray and ask Jesus Christ into your heart, asking him to save you and make you ready for heaven. If you would like a copy of this DVD, write us or call us in the information included in this website, and we will be happy to send you a free copy. God bless you, and our prayers are with you.